So we were planning to release a video regarding superannuation in Australia for international students. And that video we promised a while back, but couldn't make it because of various reasons. But now that video was scheduled to be released today. But instead of that, we have to release this video where I'm going to give you a quick update regarding many things that happened in international education over the last week or so. So if you want to know all these updates, make sure to stick around as there are plenty of them we're gonna cover. Let's get started with the first one, which is about increasing in financial requirements. As many of you are aware that when you are applying for your student visas, you may have to demonstrate some financial requirements or show some funds in order to apply for student visa. This is to make sure that you have enough funds to support yourself while you're studying. Now that number from October 2019 was $21,041. But now from 1st of October 2023, if you're going to apply for a student visa, you need to show that you have at least $24,505 as a saving as part of meeting that financial requirement. This is around 17% increase from the previous numbers. And it is done in order to meet the higher cost of living that has come into play over the last few years here in Australia. As some of you might already be aware about it, that the cost of living in Australia has gone up significantly over the last few years, thanks to pandemic and many other factors. So that has played a huge role in increasing those numbers, making sure that if you are planning to apply for student visa, you need to have at least that much of savings. Again, this change will come into effect from the 1st of October 2023. The second major update is in regards to the concurrent studies. So government has closed a big loophole in regards to the concurrent studies. Now some of you might be wondering what concurrent studies is. Concurrent, as the word suggests, is doing two courses at the same time. So when this concurrent studies came into effect, the government's intention was that students who wanted to take another course in order to help them to learn better about what they are learning, that will be great for them. So for example, if you are doing, let's say, a master's degree in marketing and you thought that doing a short course in social media might be helpful for you and you wanted to do it, you could have done that. But what was actually happening in reality was many students who were getting their visa granted for university education, so they were coming to Australia on those visas, and soon after arriving into Australia, they were changing their courses into vocational education, which is usually diplomas and certificates and so on. Why is that? Of course, that vocational courses are usually much cheaper and shorter in length as well. So there was a loophole where students could come into Australia, can start another course while they are doing their principal course, and they were just not focused on their principal course even before 6 months, and they were moving to vocational courses. So that loophole where students could come and change their course quickly into vocational program has been closed now. The students can still change their course after 6 months of completing their principal course. So students can still change their course after first 6 months, but they can't do it right away after arriving into Australia, which is what some of them were actually doing. And government gave us some data about it as well, that 17,000 students were doing a concurrent course in 2023 alone, which was way more than 10,500 people that was doing it for the similar period of 2019 and 2022 combined. So clearly some people worked out this loophole and tried to take advantage of that, but now government has closed that thing effective immediately. So suggestion for the students is that if you are coming to Australia for studies, make sure you choose the right course, so that you don't feel like changing the course after arriving into Australia. By the way, this change does not apply to the students who are already doing their concurrent studies. So no changes for you guys. The next one is in regards to the crackdown on some of the dodgy education providers. So there was an investigation conducted by the Sydney Morning Herald about some of the ghost colleges in Australia. Now what are these ghost colleges? Basically colleges where students are enrolled but no one is coming. Yep, that was some of the things that was picked up by this investigation. Now we are not suggesting that any of the colleges mentioned in this investigation was doing anything against the laws. The investigation actually focused on the fact that many students have enrolled into these colleges, but no one was there when they went in to check it. You can read more about that investigation in the description box below. And obviously Australian government wants to make sure that there is a high quality education that international students are getting when they come here to study. So government is considering to issue suspension certificates to some of these dodgy players, especially those who are considered to be high risk providers. And there are more than 200 of these small education providers that are on the government list, with having a visa refusal rate of more than 50%. So the government wants to make sure that the students are getting the best value out of the money they're spending here for their education. And for that, the government wants to take some strict actions on these dodgy players. The government didn't name any of these providers, but as I mentioned, there's quite a lot on their list. And you can expect some more strengthening of some of these measures will come into play as government is planning to launch their full migration strategy by the end of this year. So yeah, expect some more strict rules coming in, especially for the students who are not really genuinely coming here to study. The next one is in regards to declaring your migration intention on student visa application. So international students could soon be allowed to declare their migration intention in their student visa applications. And that has been reported by many media outlets, as government is planning to replace the GTE test, Genuine Temporary Entrant, with GST test, which is Genuine Student Test. And in that specific GST test, students could be able to declare their migration intentions, which means that if you are choosing Australia as an education destination and using it as a migration pathway, then you can actually tell that in that test. But hey, more details will be expected soon, so we'll let you know as soon as we have further update on that. As government is certainly looking to get high-skilled applicants who are international students to overcome Australia's workforce shortages. The next update is in regards to Department of Home Affairs releasing the state and territory nomination allocation. So each year, Department of Home Affairs give this quota for each state and territory that they can issue certain number of visa subclass 190 and 491. The numbers for this year has been just released, and as you can see in this table, there are total 10,300 places for visa subclass 190 and 6,400 for visa subclass 491. With New South Wales and Victoria getting the highest number of share for the skilled nominated subclass 190 visa, and New South Wales and South Australia getting the highest numbers for the skilled work regional subclass 491 visa. The numbers are lower than the previous years, so yeah, there will be some tough competition in getting those visas. Again, if you want to get any specific advice on visas, please speak to a registered migration agent for that. The information we are providing is general in nature, so please speak to a migration agent who can help you to apply for these visas. Or you can read more about this on Department of Home Affairs website as well. Now the last update is in regards to the state and territory nominations again. At the time of shooting this video, the nominations are already open for the Western Australia and Tasmania state. Both these states have opened up their nominations for people who want to apply for those skilled visas as we just mentioned. And if you want more details about it, we will leave the link of that in the description box below where you can read these updates as well. So if you are planning to apply for these visas, make sure to read through all the instructions. And when you're applying, just be mindful there are some specific priority lists usually for each of these states and territories. As an example, in Western Australia, there is a priority for the people in the building and construction and healthcare and other sectors. As always, please make sure to read more details on the respective state and territory websites. Now, before we finishing, a quick update in regards to the visa processing as well. A couple of weeks back, we had an update from the Department of Home Affairs that visas are getting processed way faster than before now. Obviously, there was quite a big backlog during the pandemic times. That seems to have cleared up. So for example, student visas are usually getting outcome within 15 days or so. Now, hopefully that information was useful. If you are planning to study in Australia, please download our Overseas Student Guide, which provides a lot of useful information if you are planning to study here. And we would love to hear your thoughts about these updates in the comment section below as well. So feel free to write your comments. And if you want to know the things that can get you deported from Australia on a student visa, I highly recommend you to watch this video that's appearing on your screen right now. Here we cover specifically 10 things that can get you in that trouble. We don't want that happen to you. So please go ahead and watch that video, and I'll see you there.